What is up? It is me. It is I. I am the greatest there is, the greatest there was, and the greatest there ever will be. I am greatness personified myself. Yes. Stoney, greatness. Oh, thank y'all so very much. Wow, you guys are fantastic. Shut up, because we got a show to do, y'all. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm here with the man of the hour and Priyanka. The myth, the legend, the activist, the author, the educator, the empowerer, the entertainer, the philanthropist, the Hall of Famer, the just the most delectable piece of chocolate, man.
I mean, don't stop.
Just phenomenalness that you will ever lay your eyes on. So show some respect and bend the knee, because they come from all across the world to see the man who wears the crown that hangs 2 inches from the ground. He is your king. He is my king. He is King Kevyn.
Wow. Two times. Oh, stop. Don't stop. Keep going. No. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. What's up, everybody? It's your boy King Kevyn. I am back here with greatness himself, and as he said, Priyanka, and we are here to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 10 Tournament of All-Stars. Now we are in the second episode of the third bracket, which means that we have one more episode for the brackets before we get to the semifinals.
Yes, the semifinal lip sync smackdown for the crowd.
And I am inching for this. I was just saying to Roscoe the other day how much fun it is to be able to see all of these queens in one season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's been 18
queens. Yeah.
And
scooch over, get you in here a little.
And you don't get tired of them. Kind of leaves you wanting more from each bracket. It's like, oh, that was getting good. I want more. And it's like, nope, on to the next one. And that is an amazing way to do it. It's better to leave them wanting more than have them sitting there thinking, like, why is he still here? So this is feeding us. We want more. This tournament style show has definitely reinvigorated the show, in my opinion. Thoughts, feelings, opinions.
I definitely think that this all-star format is definitely a winner and a compelling way to not only expose and reintroduce queens, but also, make it a different competitive format and a different strategy that they have to go through. Whereas it was very much the old format with the lipsticks and everything. It was very much, kind of like Survivor meets, Drag Race. And it just didn't work because you had a lot of things and relationships that the fans necessarily weren't privy to, and things that the fans weren't necessarily privy to that affected a lot of the queens' votes and who they eliminated and who they didn't eliminate and stuff. And the producers, I think, didn't have enough control over, making sure that the TV was compelling enough, because it wasn't that compelling,
I mean, because my brain is like kind of like trucking forward, because what you're saying ties into a thought that I'm having about this particular bracket, and you said not that compelling. That's fitting. Here's my thing. Bracket 3 is packed with some really heavy hitters. Like, these girls, these queens, these entertainers and competitors are like amazing. right? Do not take that away from them at all. But given the drama and entertainment of the first two brackets, this third bracket has missed their moment. Because like we had drama in episode 1 from each of the brackets. This one is the most kumbaya, and that's not a bad thing because like I still love watching all of them.
Yeah, but talent wise, I think that this is by far the most stacked bracket,
most consistent across the board.
Yeah, yes. Because like in this episode in particular, when we get into it, like there were no bad people. There weren't.
No, because nobody messed up.
Yeah, because I'm like, if you take everybody and put them, and if you take one person, right, delete everybody, put a whole new cast of drag queens in, right, and if you do that for each and every person, you know, in the entire challenge, like all 6 of the queens, they're like, if you do that individually and just copy and paste them into another season with another bunch of casts and stuff like that, their performance is easily a top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Easily a top 3. Doesn't matter who it was. Alyssa Hunter, doesn't matter. Like it was easily a top 3 performance on any other season. You know, with this one, you know, we gotta, you know, think about it.
Again, with All Stars though, there's an expectation that you would get nothing less than what we got in this episode.
Right.
They killed.
Right.
So,
but there weren't these moments in other brackets, is what I'm saying. There were moments in other brackets where, yeah, it seemed like, oh, this is a good competition. But more than not, we've seen 2 episodes out of this bracket where it has been razor thin close. You know what I mean? Like between everybody, you know. The other 2 brackets, there weren't multiple episodes where it was razor thin close with multiple multiple queens.
Something else that you said is something else that we're seeing and still could stand to see is that any one of these queens could really take it.
Mm-hmm.
Like from their first episode to the second one, anybody could have made that top like bracket or top bunch. So let's talk about the episode. We're starting with a mini challenge. Well, no, we're starting with them coming in from last episode and delivering points.
Yes.
So last week, Diabetti and Ginger Minj had to lip sync. Ginger Minj won, giving her 3 points. Diabetti received 2.
Uh-huh.
And then we see in the workroom, the ladies are discussing how they want to give their points. I think it was fair. I think it made sense. It was very kumbaya. Nobody stirred any waters.
Right.
But
there was no stealing of points like Mr.
No manipulation or anything like that. It was just fair and clean across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Acid Betty gave her point to Denali. Cynthia Lee Fontaine gave hers to Alyssa Hunter. Alyssa Hunter gave hers to Cynthia Lee Fontaine. And Denali gave hers to Acid Betty.
Right.
The people that they worked with is who they switched their point with.
Right. So everybody came out of the point ceremony with 1 point. All right. And so, yeah. So now the standings of the race going into the second Maxi Challenge and second episode is Ginger Minj in the lead with 3, Diabetti in second place with 2, and then we have Denali, Cynthia Lee Fontaine, Alyssa Hunter, and Acid Betty all tied with 1 point. All right, so going into the next episode, we had a mini challenge, our first mini challenge of this bracket, and it was a mini challenge based off of Clueless, in order to honor the 30th anniversary of Clueless.
Freaking years of
I was
Clueless.
8 years old when that movie came out. Sweet Jesus!
I was 11.
Oh,
I mean, I was. I was 7.
I know you had it right. You had it right. It's okay.
No, I was 11.
It's okay.
But one way or another, they all dressed up in Cher's yellow plaid outfit, and they did a photo shoot. RuPaul was a photographer, and it started off with one queen reading famous quotes from the movie, while the other one styled.
Kind of like pantomime.
Yeah,
you like posed to them and stuff, like brought those to life, I guess.
And it was a quick drag. That's what
it was quick drag, so it wasn't anything. Yeah.
Denali won.
Yes, rightfully so.
Right. Yeah, agreed. It was a fun challenge. Cute, something stupid. She won a cash tip of $1,000, and then the main challenge was the StageCooch. a girl group competition where they did country music. They had to get into teams of 3 and come up with their choreography
Yes.
and write lyrics, and perform them with Oral Pecker. Oral Pecker. I said that right. Oral Pecker. Orville Peck came in to help the ladies record their parts. Now, I will say,
if you don't know who Orville Peck is,
don't feel bad because I didn't need that at first.
Look him up. You're welcome.
I mean, this after the past 5 or 6 seasons of Drag Race, I've discovered who he is. But no,
did you see the pictures of him naked? Oh,
I saw something.
Bubble.
But no, he was definitely. And if you don't know who he is, he covers his face with a mask.
Yeah, he has a mask, like what's the high old silver? That guy. The Wild West guy. What was that movie with Johnny Depp where he played Tonto? I forgot what the guy was called, but yeah, he has a mask, sort of similar to that, kind of like Zorro a little bit, but and then sometimes he has fringe, and sometimes it's just a mask. Right. But yeah, that's his whole stick. And he's a gay country music artist.
Even with his face covered, that man actually was kind of hot.
He is very hot.
And the queens did not hesitate to let him know they thought he was sexy. Alyssa Hunter specifically asked if he was single and said that he was sexy. And I think, it was her nerves because everyone else sings or have done country stuff before, and she has this accent. I think I jumped the gun because we didn't talk about the groups. So the first group, Cynthia Lee Fontaine, because that's the group.
And so they had to pick it. So they listened to the songs, and then they had to, talk amongst themselves as to who would do what song and who would be in what group. So after listening to the song, pretty much everybody except for Cynthia Lee Fontaine wanted to do a song, and they had 2 songs to pick from. One song was called Gonna Key Your Car, and then the other one was called Trailer Hitch. All right. So the one song, Trailer Hitch, was more like slutty, and then the Key Your Car was kind of sort of play on Carrie Underwood's before he cheats and stuff like that, but real draggy and stuff. But so Cynthia wanted to be on Key Your Car, and then everybody else wanted to be on Trailer Hitch. So I ended up basically where Daya was the first one to say, you know what, I'll go and be on Key Your Car. And so then when everybody else was trying to make their case and stuff, Ginge, really asked Alyssa, was like, do you really want to be on this song? And she was like, yes, I do. She was like, okay, I'll go and be on Key Your Car. So it ended up
for doing that.
Yes, and into the confessional, all right. She basically made it clear that hey, this is in her wheelhouse. She has a country album, so this is in her wheelhouse, and she feels as though that she can win with either song. Yes, the path would be easier in her mind with Trailer Hitch, but she could certainly pull out a win with Key Your Car. I love Ginge. So
same.
So
not as much. But,
I love the confidence and everything, and boy does she back it up. Little foreshadow. But so the groups ended up being Ginger Minge, Cynthia Lee Fontaine, Diabetti on Key Your Car, and then on Trailer Hitch, Acid Betty, Denali, and Alyssa Hunter.
Of course, there's banter in the workroom back and forth over who thinks the underdogs are who they think is going to do good. They named their groups Mud Flaps. And what was the other one? I don't remember what the other group name was.
Was it the Whiskey Chicks?
Yes, the Whiskey Chicks.
Okay, yeah.
Again, they go and they work on their choreography and their vocals with Orville Peck. So Ginger Minch, Cynthia Lee Fontaine, and Diabetti had some really good ideas with their choreography. It just took them some time to actually get it down. And I will be honest, even though Diabetti has like the training and everything, and we know Denali dances and skates, I did not expect to see them do as good as they did as Alyssa and Denali. Like I really enjoyed their choreography, even in their practicing. Um, and then like I feel like I'm running through this entire episode. There's only been 15 minutes, and I'm ready to talk about the runway.
Well, no, we got yes, because it was very. There were two different approaches. Okay, I would say that the first group with Daya and Ginge and Cynthia, they went through like a loom approach, where it was all these different strands, and Daya was the loom that kind of strung it all together and kind of put it all together and simplify things and stuff like that. So it was very a team contributed type of thing, but I think it led to it being very simplified in part because of that. Whereas with the other group, with Acid, Alyssa, and Denali pretty much took the lead as far as choreography and making sure that that it made sense and everything else. It helped that Acid Betty is a trained dancer, and then Alyssa is good at dancing. So it was very easy for them to, put everything together. And that was very evident, especially with the practice, because it was like they was up there and then bloom, bloom, pow. They just kind of formed together and was a group right there. Like after, 3 or 4 steps and stuff like that Denali kind of talked. And the other group was sitting there like,
what I mean. Like, oh wow.
They're
really
damn.
good. And they would know like they were like really good. And this is just their first couple of practices of it. And they were really good. So we could only imagine what they're about to do to us on the main stage.
Yeah.
So when we get to the main stage, the first group was Ginger Minge, Diabetti, and Cynthia Lee Fontaine. And again, theirs was Kia Carr, which along with the lyrics they were talking about, basically with Cynthia, and she said, "I'm his girlfriend," and Diabetti said, "I'm his girlfriend," and then Ginger Minge says, "I'm his wife." And so they were just talking about this experience with this cowboy that did all this to them. And my favorite, honestly, out of all 6 queens, is Cynthia Lee Fontaine on this one. I loved her look, her
Western. We didn't even get to the other one, so you just like her out of everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she was one of the she actually opened up the show. She was the first to perform, and I think she set a tone, and that's what you want to do in a competition show like this. You could not pick apart. Like her outfit was good, hair and makeup, her performance, her lyrics, and her vocals were all very good. I'm not a fan of country music, never have been, and will say I never will be. But if I hadn't said that, after listening to Cynthia Lee Fontaine's version, I might be a little bit more open to listening to some country music. She entertained me. I really enjoyed her performance. To me, she was the best.
So everyone else in this group,
Oh yeah, there are other people.
Yeah.
So Diabetti.
Diabetti to me was the weakest in the group, but
Agreed.
Again, Diabetti did put together a very strong performance overall. I thought that her lyrics were nice. Her movements were very, very much Diabetti, punk rocky, type of, movements and everything. And, it fit with the tone of her lyrics and stuff. But I think that that's the thing. Like this wasn't, like as much as Diabetti was, trying to do the country thing, like it just wasn't a good fit. And that's not her fault. It's just the tone of the competition. But she did deliver, a very, very strong performance at the end of the day. In my opinion, it just wasn't among the best when you stack it up against everyone else in this bracket.
I feel that Diabetti is a very punk type drag queen,
And because of that, like her interpretation of a lot of things is a little bit missed. And like you said, if it's not what the category is asking for, or the theme or the challenge is asking for, yeah. So even though she may do well with her lyrics, she performed pretty well. It was just a little bit off because it didn't give us it gave me more punk than country. And Kylie Sonique Love said with Monet on Pit Stop about like this cadence that, like, why is everyone writing and performing with it? And it's like, it's the go-to. It's so simple. It's kind of cheap,
right?
And I'm not saying that what Diabetti gave was necessarily cheap, but like her cadence didn't really switch things up. And I'm on board with what Kylie Sonique Love said as well. Like, for those people who want to do rap, go listen to some Missy Elliott, because she breaks up the cadence. She gives you such a greatest range.
Female rapper to ever live.
She's like, yes.
Period.
Yes. No arguments.
None. You can't.
But Diabetti still did good. She was just what we said the other week about Mistress, when she was doing the performance with Georges and Lydia Butthole Collins. She wasn't bad. She was just the weakest of the group.
Right. Yeah.
So that's
what Diabetti was. Yeah. And then you had Ginger Minj, who, in my opinion, like really, really embodied her whole thing. It definitely had the whole country vibe to it, but then it's Ginger Minj. She's a country queen. But it was this, it also had a grit and a gruff to it that Ginger can only apply. And it's the thing with Ginger that makes everything that she does absolutely just spectacular is the fact that she understands the little nuances that give depth to a performance, and like she hits on every emotional beat, and then there are some emotions that she may take you on a turn, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? It's not scattered or too like too put together. And I think that is a thing that she honestly really worked on since her last season, because everybody's like, funny. She's so rehearsed and everything else like that. But I think now she's gotten to the point where she is rehearsed, but she, instead of it looking so rehearsed and so polished and so, the only thing I can think of is this meme of it said I'm gonna call them Jinx or Monsoon's child. I think I saw that. It was Marsha, Susie Toot, and Plasma.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like that is what Ginger was, because they are just polished.
Yeah.
But there still isn't a they're still like, I would say Susie Toot is more close for it to be more natural than the other two. But it's like, they're like Ginge makes it look natural. And that's the thing. Like, she's polished, and everything. But now it just looks natural. Like, she's just going up there and doing her thing. Like, she planned it. And this is,
I think the best thing with that is, and this is my interpretation of what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
When you say she just makes it look natural, like she's performing at a level that is so familiar with her,
right,
that she can just do it.
Like Jinx Monsoon, like comfortable and just doing it, and inhabit the role, the character, the portrayal that is trying to get brought across. Like Ginge did it, and this case will hold up later. Okay, this point will hold up later as well. It will. So she just is a drag queen juggernaut. Like she is a tour de force, like in everything that she does. And I am so thankful for her to coming back on this show. I thought that she was absolutely outstanding. To me, she wasn't the best of the night, but she was definitely second.
Thank you. Okay. I ain't got nothing else to say about that then.
Right.
Absolutely. Ginger Minj killed it. She was so crazy. Second. I would agree with that. I'm just thinking about everything that I already know about the show. But yes, I would agree that she was definitely second in this episode, or I would have ranked her second in this particular episode. Because like she was very good.
Yes. Now,
no complaints about her at all.
My top queen is actually in the other group, believe it or not.
Oh wow.
Yes. My top queen of the week is actually in the other group, and I'm pretty sure people are like, people that's been watching the show can see this coming a mile away.
Well, that person for me would have been my third. But let's talk about this group now.
Yeah. So the other group that was singing Trailer Hitch was Acid Betty, Lissa Edwards, and Denali. So Acid Betty started out the whole thing, and her thing was she took it like Large Marge. And if you guys watch the Pee Wee Herman movie, the truck driver with that was the ghost truck driver with the clay face and everything. Wow. Yeah, Large Marge. So yeah, Acid Betty wrote
how many
Large
people
Marge
watching right now remembers Pee Wee Herman and saw his what adventure?
Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Big Adventure.
Yeah.
How many people remember that movie?
Yeah, I did.
Actually seen it.
I do.
Or have watched Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was a Pee Wee guy.
Yes.
I was a big Pee Wee guy.
Oh my gosh. Me too.
Makes sense now. But because we had something in common.
You are a mess. Where was I going with that? Oh, Acid Betty. I really enjoyed Acid Betty.
Mm-hmm.
Not in my top, but I really enjoyed her performance. I
thought her lyrics kind of left it a bit more of a stick, but her performance was great, and that's the thing. Her performance was great. Lyrics kind of, put it into a box for me that it really didn't need to be, but it was executed well. I can't say anything bad about the execution. It was done absolutely great.
Well, all right. So I do have critiques.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Michelle Visage critiqued her hair.
Oh, the wig?
Yes. I could see it, but it wasn't distracting. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It kind of fit with the look for me.
Yeah, like
I could understand
like that is country hair to me. Like,
I mean, if you wanted something different, I can get it, but because of the outfit and the way it made sense,
right?
So I'm not mad about.
I do think that she should have I think that she probably should have went with more of like a fascinator cowboy hat, type of thing, and then like have a big old bang. I think that was what it was missing. The hair, as far as like, because country, it's like big poof out here, and especially if we're gonna do a bob, it's big.
You
poof,
know what it
and then big
reminds
old
me of?
Poof bang, like right here.
Know what it reminds me of? Bullwinkle, the ranger with the hat, but like just having the hair underneath, but the hat. It gave me more a park ranger than cowboy, if I'm being honest.
I got Laura Farquaad, but
But then the outfit. I really want to talk about this outfit because initially I want to hate on it.
No, I like it. It was all glowing and
it was boxy.
It was boxy.
It didn't give her any type of shape, and I see why. That's why I said I can't hate it, because I can understand the construction of it.
But it was a performance piece. You know what I mean? Like,
it wasn't shaped well,
right?
And that takes away from the femininity of the look. Because I think if it was shaped just a little bit better, it would have been like jaw dropping, opposed to me having to study it to figure out what the hell I was looking at. Because that's what I found myself doing. For someone whose mind goes all over the place and you're watching something, I'm paying attention to too many things at one time. So it's taking away from your actual performance to where I got to watch it 10,000 more times. Thank you, because it's good. But to even see that there was like light movement in the actual outfit. And then the waist piece was actually a waist piece. It was I don't even know how to describe it. It's something else that I'm pretty sure she had 3D printed or customly made that you're not going to find anywhere else. And she looked amazing in it. I just wish that it was just cinched a little bit more. I just feel like maybe she lost a little bit of weight, and this is just me making up some shit. But she lost a little bit of weight, so it fit her that way. Because I would love for it to have fit her body. You look like a man in a dress right now, boo-boo. I love you. And it's an amazing dress.
Yes.
I just wish it didn't look as masculine as it did.
And you're well within your rights because, again, everybody was good. And we got a nitpick because we are
exactly
serious drag journalists
exactly
here.
That.
Like, things that you're nitpicking about, I'm like, but at the end of the day, overall, I thought that
her performance was
as
good.
Betty
Great.
was good. You know what I mean? Alyssa Hunter, bless her heart, it was still good. It
Bless
was
her
still
heart.
good, but bless her heart.
She looked beautiful.
Yes, she did look beautiful. The voiceovers was not that great. I mean, she sounded like Kermit the Frog.
But you know what I am happy to say?
Mhm.
I understood most of what she was saying.
Right. And she was really trying to really embody that that country vibe. And Acid Betty did her a favor by just saying, just do it like you would normally say it, but just stay on the cadence and stuff like that. And so it started out real Muppet like, and then got better towards the end. But her lyrics were definitely fun and slutty, and that was her whole point, and the main lyrics of the song is "Baby, I can suck the chrome off your trailer hitch." So hey, but yeah, she did a great job. I thought that her dancing and choreography was very lively and stuff like that. Yes, you could understand what she's saying. I thought that it was a solid performance. Again, if you stick her performance on another season with a bunch of other different queens, she's probably finishing in the top 3. But in this one, in this particular group setting, I did think that she was the weakest of the group. But again, it was still a good, solid performance. So yeah.
I liked her, or I don't know. Like, again, I didn't understand everything, and it's not just because she was going between English, because she was speaking Spanglish.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like some of the words were slurred. Even the Spanish sometimes would come out slurred.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of hard to capture everything.
Right.
But overall, what I did capture, I enjoyed. I like the choreography when it was all done between this group. When it came down to the choreography, it was definitely the better group for choreography.
Yes, and that leads into our final queen for this group, which is Denali, because she was in charge of the girls.
Yes, I am in charge of. I thought that if I was to ever do Drag Race and go on to Snatch Game, I would do Della Reese. Specifically from Harlem Nights.
Della Reese.
I think that would be, and then like maybe switch into like a Touched by an Angel Della Reese or something.
I think somebody did do Della Reese though, and it didn't do well. But
I would do well.
You would do well.
I would do well. I would study the character, not just Della Reese, but my version of Della Reese. I would have to study that character and make sure that it was everything and more.
Yeah.
But Denali, and being in charge of the girls, whip those girls into shape. And like I said earlier, in the rehearsals and the choreography, you could tell that they were already on point.
Mm-hmm.
So with all the extra rehearsing and then them getting into character, it only made it better.
And then when Denali did her part, like, it was well written. Like, she is a songwriter. She writes songs and is pretty good as far as raps and stuff. So this was definitely a competition that was also in her wheelhouse, because a lot of people like to think that this competition was strictly for Ginger Minj, and no.
I would say that, like, in general,
again, they can put the thumb on the scale, but the queen has to show up.
Yeah. But when you're talking about an all-star season, if you gave more opportunities in terms of challenges to somebody's stronger,
but this is also in Denali's wheelhouse.
Yes,
and she showed up and showed out,
and she proved that it's in her wheelhouse.
Yes, to me she was the best of the night. Denali was the best of the night.
All right, this is why. Well, we haven't talked about the runway yet, but before we even get to that, and just in terms of lyrics,
and to me, the runway solidified it.
We didn't get there yet, though. But just between like lyrics, performance, looks, choreography, yeah, I just really love Cynthia Lee Fontaine. But yeah, when you talk about the entire package of that performance, it was definitely Denali.
Yeah, yes. She was the best. So me personally, I did like Trailer Hitch a little bit better. But I did like the story that the first group told with their song.
Like, I kind of want to just bop to the first song.
Right.
Old Key Your Car, I want to bop to it. It was a really good song. Trailer Hitch was also a really good song too. So you just had to do more because it wasn't enough because the first song killed it.
Yeah.
And the choreography set them off.
Yeah. It was definitely a way more cohesive song.
Yes.
But the first one. But as far as the overall performance package and stuff like that, it was Trailer Hitch. Like Trailer Hitch was the better performance of the two, to me.
Although I feel like the two of the top three queens of this episode were in the first song.
Yes. Also for me as well. Because out of the going into the runway, my top three queens were Denali, Ginge, and Cynthia Lee Fontaine. Those were my top three. So it came down to the runway as to who was going to be in the top two.
All right. So for the runway, the category is Night of 1,000 Mileys. Not to be I'm adding this, but not to be confused with 1,000 Mollies. So the queens all had to do a tribute to one of their favorite Miley Cyrus looks. I want to just reiterate a point that was made on the pit stop between Kylie Sonic Love and Monet Exchange.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why no one thought to do a Hannah Montana reveal. That would have been the perfect thing to do on this runway. Like start off as Hannah Montana and then flip into a Miley. Miley look.
Start off as a Miley look because Miley had the dark hair.
Yeah.
And then Hannah had the blonde and dark hair, and then you could have a dark hair wig, and then
Yeah.
I'm Hannah Montana now.
Right.
I
think that would have been an amazing thing to do.
Right.
Nobody did it,
Mm-mm.
but that would have been cute.
Yeah.
So first up is Acid Betty.
Well,
yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, go ahead. We can go through each one.
Well, what were you going to do?
No, I was going to be like, who were your top three?
Okay.
Runways,
all right, that's fair. That's fair.
Because I wanted to leave room for the
lip syncing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'm good with that because you did give your top three.
Mm-hmm.
But Acid Betty is still one of my favorite runway looks.
See, I thought it was good at first. The first time I watched it, when I watched it the second, third, and fourth times, it really I started to see a lot of the things that and I watched the pit stop after I watched the episodes,
Mm-hmm.
about 3 or 4 times, and I kind of agree with what Kylie and Monique were saying is that Monet. I'm sorry. Kylie and Monet were saying is that hey, it's a great look to try to do, but the execution was there, but it missed the mark. There was just some things that didn't directly translate because of drag. You know what I mean? Like in the picture you can tell it fits on Miley's natural form, and the thing with drag is that you got to create that natural form.
Yeah,
and it's like with the particular form and the execution of trying to portray that form from Diabetes was not missed the mark slightly. You know what I mean? Like
Diabetes,
the look.
You talking about Acid Betty?
No, I'm talking about Diabetes.
I was talking about Acid Betty.
Oh, see, I'm getting confused. I thought Acid Betty's was great.
You asked me what my top 3 were.
Oh, okay.
Acid Betty is one of my favorites.
Oh, Acid Betty, yes, was also one of my favorite runways. I thought that was spectacular with the and the chandelier going down to the floor. Yeah.
I agree with you.
And then the hair. Oh my gosh.
Yes, the big mohawk. Absolutely.
Like that is what I look for. When they say Acid Betty, I am expecting that kind of hair.
She was one of my favorites. Obviously, Denali was.
Mm-hmm.
And
Denali's look was spot on, and I loved it.
Yes.
And good God, that body. Oh my gosh. Did you not want to lick those legs?
So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Denali specifically in this look, she was very spot on with the look.
Mm-hmm.
But you still knew that was a man, right?
Yes.
Those shoulders, that chest, those arms.
Yes.
You knew that. Okay, I just want to make sure. Like
Yes.
we're accepting.
Yes, no, I
that
knew
this
that
is
was
an
a man.
illusion.
Yes, but
Gotcha.
also, you know, again, you could sit there and look and be like, that's a muscular woman.
Not with those shoulders. Now we've seen some bodybuild too petite to be a bodybuilding woman.
I mean, the hips, yes, because that when you know the hips area doesn't go in. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to be Angela Bassett, boom boom bow,
Right, exactly.
you know, but she still has that small waist. You know what I mean?
And let me say, I'm not saying this to
because Angela Bassett's legs are just as muscular as Denali's. Like,
but I'm not saying this in like a shady way or in a condescending way, because to me, Denali is the trait of the season. Like, love the body, very cute in the face,
I
just the right amount of twink.
Chung-Li drag, like, oh my gosh,
that would be sick.
Ugh.
Yeah, that would be sick. So yeah, no, I loved her look, so spot on, so sexy, very campy and funny at the same time. Denali is doing an amazing job, in my opinion.
Yeah, Denali,
she's one of the top queens in this episode.
Yeah, Denali definitely had the best runway to me, which to me solidified her first place standing in the episode. I did like Acid Betty's as well. And then after that, I would have to say it is a tie for the looks that I like the best after that between Alyssa and Ginge. I did like Ginge because it was very Ginge. Like it just.
Why am I drawing a blank on Alyssa though?
Alyssa had the Grammys performance where she had the Bob Mackie silvery dress, kind of sort of Tina Turner look. Like that was Miley's Tina Turner, you know, inspired performance and stuff because she had the big hair and the Bob Mackie silvery thing, and and then she came out with the cape that said "My First Grammy," which, you know, Bussy Queen on another channel was like, I don't like seeing words on the thing because I had to pause it to read it. I knew exactly what was on there. Soon as she put the things up, it said "My First Grade." I knew it.
You did, but it's just like they say about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, how they want to make it simpler so you don't have to watch 30 movies to understand what's happening in this movie. Like for everyone who gets to
and then it's not even 1,000 Miley's because she did that performance after she won her first Grammy.
But nice, but everybody doesn't know that. So it's like references are cool, but at the same time, if you can make it so that we all understand what's happening without having to look up references, even better.
I think Miley even did the cape.
Because I don't know nothing about this look. So
yeah, no, that's Miley's
so I agree with
most
Bussy
iconic looks right there because, like, but yeah, no, I thought that so honorable it's a tie between her and Ginge. I did like Ginger Minge, like I thought it fit her.
She thought it was Molly doing
spot on.
Elvis.
I do agree that had she, like, I probably would have liked it a little bit better had she did like the two-piece illusion, you know, like that they were talking about. But I get why Ginger didn't get
Ginger
it.
Minge too. That was the thing about it.
And the execution was still spot on. So so that would be my top three. Tie in third place with Ginge and Alyssa. Second place was Diabetti, and then Denali had my favorite Miley look of the night.
Dia or Acid?
Acid Betty. Second. Did I say Dia again?
Yes.
Acid Betty.
Dia, we love you, but your runway look was not it.
It was a little stale this week. I'm sorry.
So RuPaul had the girls sitting in front of her, and she picked her top two queens, who ended up being Denali and Ginger Minge. Does this feel right to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Cynthia Lee Fontaine's runway was not that great.
If you hadn't noticed, we didn't highlight Cynthia Lee Fontaine's runway.
Right. And if you are in a 3-race horse for 2 slots, your runway
matters.
Your runway matters. You know, Ginge and Denali came out swinging in the runway, and their performances were better in the group challenge. So yes, it was.
That's where I disagree. I think that, in my opinion, I think that Cynthia Lee Fontaine did better than Ginger Minge. Ginger Minj did great. I just think that Cynthia did better.
And you are, and there are a lot of folks out there who feel the exact same way that you do. And you know, there are a lot of folks who do feel like, you know, Cynthia Lee Fontaine should have been in the top 2.
Cynthia was robbed.
You know, I am not in that camp, but I can see where the argument is, and I respect it. You know,
I just think that there's been a lot of hatred towards Ginger Minj, like she did something other than just be great.
Yeah,
and no place for that, because Ginger Minj is the monster, and she deserves all the accolades that she's earned, because she's earned them. It's not like somebody.
Have you seen her now?
I've seen photos and videos. Yes.
Oh my gosh, she's lost some weight now since the season wrapped. She's lost some weight. Like, that lady looks good.
And she deserves all of the accolades and awards that she's receiving.
She's killing it
because she's worked for it. Her talent,
yes,
proves that she deserves it.
May we call her the Bette Midler of drag? Drag's Bette Midler. Like she is.
I can see that.
I could definitely see that too.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
What can't she do?
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds about right to me. But the issue I get into is with like the whole Sasha Colby thing from my perspective. When a queen becomes so good that one, you expect them to just kill everything, and 9 times out of 10 they do, but it becomes unfair competition. And this is my opinion. Take away all of the speculation and conspiracy about producer manipulation and all that stuff. If this was a different show with same type of queens, if not the same exact cast, Ginger Minj would still wipe the floor with everybody. In all reality, I just feel like she's just one. She's been on Drag Race so many times. She gets the show from how to communicate in confessionals. She's an entertainer, so put me on stage, put me on camera. I'm going to excel. I don't think that it's fair after a certain point. It becomes the Ginger Minj meet and greet. And again, it's not to say that she doesn't deserve the accolade. It's just give somebody else a shot, because I already know you're about to wipe the floor. Unless you're giving her a season with people that unfortunately... Okay, so hear me out. Ginger Minj has to win this season so that way she can get her real winner in an all-winner season. Because I feel like that's the only way she's going to have some real competition.
Well, see, the thing about winning an All-Stars crown is that I feel like if you win an All-Stars crown, you are kind of like beholden to come back on an all-winner season, or like you in order to justify your win, especially with the frequency of the All-Stars. Because before, like Chad Michaels All-Star season, it was a good, like we were on season like 6 or something like that, you know, like it was a good chunk of time, you know. And I get it that you had to build the All-Star roster and everything, but then Alaska season, it was like 2 to 3 years after that, you know. I feel like if they would space it out, you know what I mean, as far as the American All-Stars.
How many seasons they have back to back like this?
Yes. If they space out the American audience and maybe fill in with, you know, maybe Canada or you know, UK's drag, or you know, or even Down Under, you know, fill in with those seasons in order to help expose, you know, like during an All-Star season, like, you know, like where we do a regular season, no, we're going to show you the regular season of, you know, UK, you know, or no, we're going to show you the regular season of Down Under. You know, it gives those other queens exposure to bigger audiences and things.
And it widens the pool that you can grab drag queens from.
And then it widens the All-Star pool at that, which will make it a lot more, you know, interesting to have some of these queens that we met from overseas on our All-Stars. And then it gives you time to kind of establish some sort of value to the All-Star crown. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because every 2 years we crown an All-Star queen. You know, instead of every year we crown a regular queen and then an All-Star queen. You know,
Right. It's because it is a lot, and it's crazy because I think one of my concerns is like, are they going to run up? But it's all stars. It's not like all winners. So
Mm-hmm.
there are hundreds of queens to pull from. So yeah, we'll be good. But like, I feel like a casting like of Phoenix or Nicole Page Brooks, did they deserve the screen time?
Yes, Nicole Page Brooks, absolutely.
Yes. Phoenix, I feel like was a space saver, and I understand like they was having issues with casting, but like dig deep, go ahead and do that,
and then
but
explain the format. Be upfront with these queens. Like I get that you don't want leaks and stuff like that to happen.
We've seen this season, so we know the format,
right? But when they were explaining to it, like they knew that the format was going to be like this. They didn't explain it enough to queens, good enough to queens that they actually wanted, like Jessica Wilde and stuff like that, who said no to the format. Mirage, who said no to the format and short notice and stuff like that. Like there were people who just didn't understand the format because it wasn't explained to them the way that it was explained to us. And then it's like,
right.
Whatever explanation y'all are going to give the fans, y'all need to give to the queens.
Yeah, let them know what they're getting themselves into, because this works.
Yeah,
and it is like smash hit. Honestly, I think this is going to be another Emmy nomination.
Yeah,
this was a season for your ass.
So let's get into the lip sync. So Denali and Ginger Minge lip synced to "Can't Wait to See You Again," I guess is what it's called, by Miley Cyrus.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, this is another example. All right, because we had this the last bracket, wasn't it? With who was it? Georges and somebody.
Georges and Lydia, or was it Georges and Mistress?
Yeah, I think it was Georges and Mistress, where there was like a debate as far as, oh my gosh, who actually won that, and stuff like that, and why they split it and stuff like that, and like honestly, they gave two different performances. Okay, that's the thing with Mistress and Georges, they gave two different performances that were both great. All right, now there are different levels of a lip sync to me when I'm watching a lip sync. Okay, there is the okay, the $2 level, where hey, throughout the performance I done gave you $2 at the bar, it's nice, all right. Then I got my I'm tipping level. All right, where you killed it and I'm tipping, but it was a high quality, right, head show, like bar show headlining performance. All right, and then you got like you got a performance. Okay, like so we got the $2 I'm tipping performance, right? And then you have show. You put on a show. All right. There are different levels. Okay. Now with this lip sync, okay, let's take Georges and Mistress. Georges and Mistress, right? They gave two different performances,
yes,
two high quality different performances. Did they put on a show? Not necessarily. Okay. Not necessarily. Now, let's look at Ginger Minge. All right. I'm not even going to take in the last week's into account because she put on a show last week too. Ginger Minge puts on shows when she does lip sync. She puts on shows that have a through line, that have nuance, that have that take you on a journey.
There was a phrase that Ginger Minge made in her performance in this episode. She said, "I put the cunt in country," and that on top of what Stoney here is saying, Ginger Minge I don't know if she knows anymore how to just do a drag show because her caliber. Again, we're singing your praises, Ginge, because your performance is a performance with a show and a story and a gag and some comedy. I don't
Some
think
camp.
I don't think that
Like-
Ginge has heard on this show anyone call her sexy so many times in the deliberation. Her performance was just literally in this lip sync
Was mesmerizing.
yeah.
She commanded the stage.
I
did not have to do anything. Like, and the thing about it is that she told a story with her performance, and Denali was a part of that story. Like, and don't get me wrong, Denali did well.
I was about to talk about her performance.
Like, she did a performance.
So
that was a wonderful performance.
Here's my thing with Denali.
It was not a show.
I feel like she was doing a bit much.
Yes.
She did way more than needed.
It was way cluttered. It was very much cluttered. Like a lot of the criticism that I do have the critiques of Georges in lip syncs, you know, where I feel like Georges needs to learn how to let things breathe and everything. Denali definitely needs to breathe, let it breathe, and she knows how to let things breathe. If you look at her videos on Instagram and stuff like that, especially where she's skating and everything, like she puts on shows there.
I don't know. It just felt like she had to prove that she can dance.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, and it's like it didn't
like
look
you have
bad.
one of the you are known for one of the most legendary lip syncs of all time. Like where you actually beat a good park and bark. You know what I mean? And you won against a good park and bark.
Which is
that
why
last time.
That's what I kind of want to see from Denali. I want to see a parking bark. I would love to see
and
that.
This would have been a great opportunity for that. Yes, Georges too. This would have been a great opportunity because Ginger, although it wasn't a traditional park and bark, it was definitely on the avenue of a park and bark.
Yeah.
And she emoted with the song. She took the song and wove it into the overall story that her lip sync was telling. You know, like I said, even made Denali a character in there, like a couple of times. Like it was great. Again, Denali gave us a very high quality, high energy, action packed performance, and it was great. Okay, but Ginger Minj gave us a full-blown show in that lip sync, and it was beautiful. All right, it was absolutely beautiful. And RuPaul felt the exact same way because RuPaul said to congratulations, Ginger, you're a winner, baby.
Yep.
So not only did Ginge and Denali get 2 points for being in the top two, Ginge also gets another point, so that puts her at 6 for the
Is it safe to say that she's going to make it to the semifinals?
Pretty much, I would pretty much say yes. Even if
any queen so far who's gotten at least 6 points has made it. So she's going to be in the finals. However, I just don't see any way. Even if she ended up in the bottom, not the bottom, if she didn't win next week, Maxi Challenge, she would still get 1 extra point, which would give. Well, she could possibly still get 1 extra point, which would solidify her with 7. Because I don't think anyone has a path to 7.
But no one has a path to 7 except Ginge, and
I don't see her going down without a fight to where she's going to at least win. So we know that we got Ginger Minj in the semifinals, even with there being another episode left. I think Ginger Minj is the biggest hype or hoopla in this bracket, whereas the other two had drama and shade. I think it's just raw talent being displayed, and we're judging off of that. So now we have Ginger Minj with 6 points. We have Denali with 3. We have Acid Betty with 2. We have Cynthia Lee Fontaine, not Acid Betty, Diet Betty.
Diet Betty with 2, yes.
Yeah, with 2. And then Acid Betty, Cynthia Lee Fontaine, and Alyssa Hunter all with 1 point each.
1 point each, yes. So let us know down in the comments. What do you think? All right, was Denali robbed again? Because to me, and y'all know how I am about Denali being robbed. Against what was that? Candy Muse, against Candy Muse. You know, I was like, no, Denali was robbed, and everything. So, you know, I am due paid member of the Denali was robbed club, but I am not with you guys on this one. I'm not. I'm sorry, and I love y'all. But let us know in the comments who were your top. Who did you think had the best Miley look? Who did you think did the best in Who did you think did the best in the StageCooch Maxi Challenge? Who did you think was the best share Horowitz in the mini challenge? Nice. All right. Let us know, and then let us know who your top 3 queens are. Who do you want to see make it out of the bracket? Who do you want to see break out the bracket? I would have to say I want to see Ginge. I want to see Denali. All right. And honestly, for TV and to have her be around Mistress, Acid Betty, to be honest. Because I think Acid would be like with Mistress. Oh my gosh. If I can't have Mistress and Nicole again, I need Mistress and Acid.
I want to give it to Diabetes because like she's actually been earning it.
She's been. I feel like
she didn't do her best.
I feel like Diabetes like took her foot off the gas while Acid Betty was, you know, getting into the next gear. You know what I mean, and everything. Like I feel like the momentum is more on Acid's side between the two Bettys.
Okay. But like I said, that's me wanting Dia to get it. Mm-hmm. Definitely Ginger and Denali, but like it's a toss up between the Bettys for me. I don't know yet.
Yeah, me too. Like I think that either Diabetes or Acid Betty should be in there with Denali.
Sorry, Alyssa. Sorry, Cynthia. We love you all. We think you both are doing great. Way better than the fluff or filler in the first 2 brackets.
Yes,
you guys just are in a really tight spot.
A really tough bracket. Yeah.
So those are our picks. Let us know yours in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Join us for our next video. Make sure you turn on your notification bell so that you'll get a notification every time we do go live.
Hit the share button as well. Yep. Share this with all of the other Drag Race fans that are out there because, you know, hey, we're the ones that make the most sense whenever we're talking, you know.
Okay.
Because we're real serious drag journalists here. As you can see, we're like, you know, the world isn't ending because Ginger Mindy won another lip sync for us. It was correct. So it was correct.
I get it. I'm not gonna make a whole movement out of it. We've already talked. Everyone has been talking about production manipulation since forever, but you also again have to give credit where credit is due, and if Ginger Minge earns this, then she's earned it.
Yes, she has to do the work. Like she's just not showing up and getting the win.
And that's why I said I put her on another show, and she would wipe the floor anyway.
Yes.
So let's see how this all plays out. One more episode before the semifinals. Yes. And we start to see these girls come back. We'll get to see who the judges vote to bring back.
I also think that Ginger is also, except for the finale lip sync, she is undefeated in lip syncs for your life as well as lip syncs for your legacy. She is undefeated.
Okay.
So
we'll see, because I think the lip sync is what it's going to boil down to.
Yeah, it will. It will.
So let's see if it works for her, because we have some very good lip syncers in all 3 brackets.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens after next episode. So anything else you want to tell these people before we go?
Hey, I know.
It's so scary.
I know.
It's so scary.
I know it is, but we did our part. Let's do our part as far as on doing your social media big ones, guys, as far as connecting with, take the opportunity to connect with somebody over there. You know, take the opportunity to get a pen pal that's over there, you know, because if we make human connections, regardless of how leaders feel, leaders have to follow the will of the people. You know, at the end of the day, they're supposed to. And then, you know, if we inspire folks to take action and make change, which is what we can do and what we have been doing, then maybe things will turn out different and we can avoid World War IV, because it seems like World War III is coming. But
feels like it's already happening.
Yeah, feels like it already done started. But
we got a couple of different wars happening in different areas, and it's
we gotta stay tuned in. Elections are November is almost here. Every November between now and that big November in 2030, what is it, 2032 or something? No, 2028. Yes, every November between now and 2028. Make sure that you get out and make sure that you vote. All right, even if it's just a ballot question, vote. All right, because again, nothing happens unless you do your part in the voting booth. But yeah, we're all in this together. All right. As Julie Chen says, love one another. Yes. All right, because you know what RuPaul says: if you can't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love somebody else?
That part.
All right.
Why can't I talk today?
Thank y'all for coming. God bless you. Good night. ASMR lover.